Hey guys, this is the second part of my, I don't know if it's an afternoon, night video. It's Saturday the 1st, it's in the afternoon. And just a refresher course in case you hear this first. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon and I'm sitting out at a private piece of property by a landmark and a stream, and I asked to come out here. There's no Wi-Fi in town anywhere for me. The mini marts don't have Wi-Fi. The one restaurant in town doesn't offer Wi-Fi. There's not a whole lot else out going on. So I was faced with a lot of different things, and my biggest challenge, what I've come to realize, without Wi-Fi, I'm kind of crippled out here, and that part's a little alarming. At one point, well, I'll get to that part of the story later. I was able to get Wi-Fi this afternoon just to check in with some folks and leave a message for you all that I'm okay. So I left off the last video telling you how I basically got picked up off the street by Pam. I don't mean it that way. And we went over to the mini mart, and as I walked over to the mini mart, we went and sat inside, and Pam was telling me a little bit about the area. She's very, very, very proud of Chelsea and Route 66, and that was changed her life. And at that moment, a server, Stacy, came and sat down and asked me what I was doing while I was walking, started to tell the backstory. And she started to share her story with me, which I'm not going to do it justice. But her son is 6 months old, had a seizure or a stroke, something, one or the other. And took him into the hospital. And basically the doctor said, look, he's at best going to have 25% of his usage of his brain. And he may not ever be able to form full sentences and function. And kind of looked at her almost as a, what do you want us to do kind of thing. And, in that moment, it's pretty hard to hear anything about your kids. God, do I know that firsthand. But, she basically just said, look, give me back my son and we'll be okay. And just try to be positive about things. And it may slide us up to the sun coming through. It's hard for me to see. So anyway, oops, sugar pop. All right. So she had her son, and she was explaining to me how, lots of meds and things later, he was suffering 20, 25 seizures a day. And then she was getting really frustrated by it and kind of not getting anything better with the doctors. Eventually she went to these oils, I guess she was telling me, and got away from all medication and took some other things. And now her son is, who she said wouldn't live past 5 years old, is now 15 years old, and forms full sentences, and is down to about 1 seizure a day. And she gave me a couple of phrases when he's struggling. He's not like he's having full conversations with people, but when he's struggling and he's feeling down or says something negative, she says something along the lines of, what did you say, or what do you think? And turns around and says, Jesus saved us, Mommy. And they believe that that's their testimony. And getting away from the medication was the best thing they ever did. And he's 15 and again, not in a great situation, but thriving versus being dead at 5 years old, like the doctors have predicted. And then it got me to talking with Pam. So where do I start? Pam might be the second greatest character. One of the top 3. I got Carol Brady, I got Papa Joe Collins, and now I have Pam from Chelsea, Oklahoma. And what makes her different, and what makes her such a character, she's so passionate and giving, and you can just see that. And I could go on for hours, but I'm telling you kind of just a few hours she spent with me trying to help me. But she a very loving woman, adores her husband. Her husband adores her. I met him as well. And it's funny, I have some theories, if you go back to my videos way back in the day, about true love and things like that. And I always say, if you ever want to know how somebody feels about their spouse, listen to how they talk about them when they're not around. And when she was talking about her husband when he had left the restaurant, she did so with so much pure love, pure zest, pure respect, pure love. It was just special, and you could see how deeply she cares for him, and the way she spoke of him without him even there. So I'm sure he feels the same way as the vibe I got from a lot of people, and they just have a really special relationship. But Pam credits Route 66 with changing their lives. The story goes, her and her husband really did anything for themselves. They always had the kids in the community, because she's really so pro-community here. It's crazy. But they were out in Malibu, California. He granted her to take a trip out, and you know, she's not one to be gone from home for a long time. But he got her to do that. In fact, she was saying there was a pool around town as to, you know, how many days would it be before Pam turned around and came back home. But while they were sitting out there in Malibu, overlooking the ocean, her husband, God, I forgot, that's not Dennis. I don't think it's Dennis. I forgot his name. I apologize, guys. So, you know, honey, we're only a little short while from Route 66 if you want to, and they live right off of it, but they never traveled it. If you want to head back that way, we're going to take Route 66. And if you get bored or you get frustrated, we can jump on the interstate and get back quicker if you want. And as Pam described it, she'd always been about the destination, not the journey. And it was that trip there that she went down Route 66, got into Arizona, and realized this is what this is all about. This is just amazing. And she shared the stories, just like I am, not of the destinations, which are wonderful. I mean, it's great to see a giant totem pole and a big blue whale and a cafe and a monument market to Will Rogers, but it's about the people that you meet and the stories they have. And she became so enthralled with it that she wanted to make Chelsea part of that. So her and the committee in town, they had an old underpass which had been in disrepair for a long time. Well, they got a big mural inside. I've got videos of it. Basically, it's like 13 different postcards. It's almost unfair because the underpass, the pictures are so big I can't capture them all really well on the camera. But anyway, you know, she's just so pro Chelsea and so pro people, and her compassion goes to no end. While we're sitting there at lunch, she must have called a dozen people trying to get me a place to stay tonight. What's difficult is it's Labor Day weekend, so there's a little motel here, the Chelsea Motel, that's filled up. She'd offer her place, but her husband's grandfather died just this past week, a couple of days ago, and family's all coming in. It's going to be a family moment and very crowded. She had a couple people on her board, Frank being one of them, that came in and met me, and they're all trying so hard. And I almost had to force them to drop me off here, have her drop me off here in the field and tell her that I'll be okay, that sometimes this is the story. But as I said earlier, don't be surprised if while I'm recording or the next video you hear that she rolled up and said, pack your stuff, let's go, we're going over here. Because as compassionate as she is, she's probably home right now worrying about me and feeling like she's let me down or let us down because somehow she hasn't arranged for a floor for me to sleep on, which would be absurd, but that's just the way, you know, people like her that give and give and give think. Just a lot of, I mean, I can't really do her justice right now with everything that took place, but to show her, the one thing I was concerned about as I was sitting there for several hours was I had no Wi-Fi. Without Wi-Fi, I can't check in with my kids, can't check in with my family, can't check in with anybody, let them know I'm okay, can't check in with you guys. So her family has an insurance agency in town, so she took me over to the agency and was able to let me hop in there and use Wi-Fi just so I can kind of record a little live stream to you and let you guys all know that I'm okay, which I am. And again, I guarantee you she would have stayed with me almost all of the night to make sure I was okay, and I kind of had to force her to drop me off here and tell her, you know, I'm a big boy, this is part of the story. So the unknown was still early in the evening, so who knows what happened. But like I said, I hope she can clear her head and focus on her family and her life and not worry about me. I'll be fine. At one point, I considered the idea of saying, hey, you know what? If you want to help me and you will, and drop me off at Tulsa, I'll go to the football game and I'll walk back to Claremore, which is my goal, was my original goal for tomorrow, which is probably changing. But anyway, while we were at the underpass, it was pretty neat. While we were there, 3 people pulled up just in that moment to share the underpass. There was a couple from Michigan, there was a couple from London, England, and there was a family from the town I just mentioned, Claremore. So I mean, you know, here is a little town with not much going on, and I don't know what that noise was, but a little town with not much going on, and and yet they all showed up here within a 90-second span of while I was there. So that's kind of pretty cool. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here, guys. So like I said, you know, listen to her talk about her town, listen to her talk about her husband and her family. Her husband's undergone something, I don't want to go into all the detail, but like 29 surgeries. And now she's dealing with some things on her own. So you talk about just kind of a raw deal and people that have been through a lot to still be so giving and not bitter. And she herself acknowledges that there are times when the phrase that set me off on this journey from my daughter about, hey, you know, people suck, has crossed her mind on occasion. I mean, even when we were down in the underpass, she's got a crutch she's using to stay up top of the stairs, and she wouldn't. But there's graffiti on the walls, and she's cleaning it off, and there's trash down there. There's a trash bin right at the top if people feel the need to put trash down in this underpass. And it made me think of something my daughter sent me this morning. My daughter sent me about 6 different little video clips. I posted one, but I was just going to post one a day. But the other one has a video, and I wasn't crazy about it, but it said something that was like, if it's something nice, people want to break it. And I don't really believe that, but then here I am at this underpass today. That's beautiful that this town did to improve the town and bring in commerce and, you know, have folks stop by and love the community, and yet people go down there and want to dump trash and desecrate a little bit. So that thing my daughter sent me maybe holds true after all. I don't know. So anyway, there's a lot more I could talk about the afternoon, but I mean, to think that in 5 hours I met, you know, these people and shared these stories and heard them share their stories with me, just been phenomenal. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to sit back. It's hot, but it's not oppressive. I'm in the shade. The sun's going down. It's just nice. This is what sometimes I think we all need to just get out of our homes and drive out to a field, and not one that's within a mile of our home, but just drive out to a field and just take in the butterflies and the creeks and the lakes and the trees, and really just decompress your mind for a while, because it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And even though I've been being put up in motels the last, God, quite a while now, it seems like, you know, with TV in the background and other things, you don't really decompress. Being alone isn't the same as being in nature, and I'm really enjoying the moments. I'm really enjoying the time I'm sharing with you guys. I've really enjoyed my day in Chelsea, and like I said, I have a feeling, if I know Pam, I know the kind of person Pam is. Right now she's home totally uncomfortable with the fact that she feels like she abandoned me, in the same way I felt like I was a burden to her, because we're both kind of the same people. So to everybody in Chelsea, thank you for taking care of me and looking out for me. To everybody that's been helping me along the way and supporting me. It's Saturday evening, probably about 5 o'clock now or thereabouts. I don't know when you're going to hear this. What's nice is I'm only a half a mile from a convenience store. If I get out here and I decide I need something to eat or drink, or go get some dinner, I can go over there. And then another, you know, within a walking distance of that is Pam's insurance agency, which I can't go in, but it's possible I can go on the outside and maybe pick up the Wi-Fi and try to send these to you, which I may or may not do, guys. You know, the nice thing about this journey is it's kind of my journey, and I'm just doing the best I can with it. And a lot of times I do things that I know I'm like, hey, I gotta get that done for the website. But I know you guys aren't making me do that. That's just me. But today I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. Maybe I will head into town and go to the Wi-Fi area if I can get it, which I can't even guarantee. Maybe I'll just stay out here because I'm enjoying it so much. So anyway, some really great folks in Chelsea. Some really great days and some things to think about. I love you all. Have yourselves a great day, guys. Take care.